Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about someone who we actually haven't heard from in a while. We're actually going to talk about Colleen Ballinger. Now, if you don't know, a super quick recap on Colleen. Colleen Ballinger was a successful American YouTuber with her persona / character Miranda Sings, as well as herself. She was a mommy vlogger and a supposed comedian. Now, a few years ago, grooming allegations were brought to the surface by one of her victims, and she managed to PR talk her way out of it. Now, these allegations resurfaced because of a different victim that provided more credibility to the original victim, and this all resulted in this situation snowballing into something massive this time around. Unlike 3 years ago, this time news publications have covered it. Her tour was canceled and she has gone on a social media hiatus since. Colleen herself has not said anything, but let's catch up on some of the drama that happened in the last few weeks. First off, let's talk about her old friend Jojo Siwa, who recently spoke about Colleen on Howie Mandel's podcast. On Howie Mandel's podcast, Jojo Siwa, the literal only person to come out and publicly defend Colleen, was found saying,
"Are you friends with Colleen Ballinger still?"
The internet can take a lie and run so far with it, so far that it's to the point where you just can't do anything about it.
Now, to give some context, Jojo became friends with Colleen when she was 12 years old, which I feel like is already saying something, but let's move on. Now, they had been making videos together since she was only 13 years old, and they collaborated on several videos. But even in those videos, Colleen would make jokes about Jojo being too young and how she should not parade her to her child audience, especially when she's making dirty jokes. There's a moment where Jojo is wearing a shirt that has milk on it, and Miranda jokes and says, "You drank milk?" You realize that's a private part, obviously using this child to imply sexual jokes. Fast forward to a 20-year-old version of Jojo. She went on to say, "And I know Colleen very, very, very well. And I think that the work Colleen has done for the internet is incredible. I think her creativity is incredible." She also added,
Miranda Sings is a character, is a comedian, and I think that it's very hard to be a character where people are also looking at you as you're a real human behind that character. And I think being a comedian is very hard because you were able to do things years ago that were okay, and now that we've grown and we've matured, we've realized that they're not okay, you know what I mean?
and Howie then cut in to ask her if, as a close friend to Colleen, if she believes everything that is coming out about her or thinks that it's all lies. And Jojo responded by saying, "There have been a lot of people on the internet who have gotten hit with this cancellation, and a lot of them I know. Some of them I don't know. And I look at it and I see that this is a sensitive subject. Somebody who is affected by any sort of anything to do with adults. And I mean, for real grooming, it's a very sensitive thing." A lot of people were very understandably upset and almost betrayed by Jojo Siwa, who always seems like a very positive celebrity and has now basically implied that each of the victims that their grooming was not really grooming and that this is all a result of cancel culture. Victims who were affected had a lot to say about it, and let's start with Adam McIntyre. Adam came out with a video titled "Jojo Siwa Defends Colleen and Calls Me a Liar," where he reacted to a video through his Twitch. He watched the whole podcast and obviously was unhappy with what she had said. He commented on a moment where Jojo talks about blurring the friend and fan line and said,
"I don't think that communicating with fans is be careful to not
So you agree with us? You're so close to getting it, Jojo.
I'm saying,
to not blur a friend fan line. It's very tough."
And here's my question to you. Regardless of judging whatever specifically is being said that was happening, and I'm just saying this as a parent again. You said you started communicating with her when you were 12.
Yes.
Is it? You wanted
But
to
you guys were in the same industry.
So we were in the
like,
same.
You guys were making videos and stuff together. right?
Do we want to pull that video up again?
he criticizes the way she answers the question, as she just says, people who have been canceled for any sort of anything, and laughed at the fact that she isn't even making sense with her answer. Then he reacts to the moment where she says real grooming, and he was shocked to say the least. He says if it's a sensitive topic, it must be hard to talk about. Is that why you can't talk about it? And he alleges that it must be the narrative behind the scenes of woe is me for Colleen. Adam also says that Jojo herself was in the group chats and wonders if she is defending her to cover her own drama. Now, Adam isn't the only one who talked about this. Trisha Paytas also had something to say as well. She goes on to quote Colleen and said that Colleen's relationship with Jojo is a clear depiction of grooming and being manipulated for defending her friend. She said, "We should all notice the only one who has defended her in her adult life, the person she became friends with when she was 12, not any of her adult friends." She also says that Miranda's jokes are not the reason she was canceled. She was being held accountable for sharing Trisha's nudes, oversharing, and talking inappropriately with children. She said all people want from Colleen is just accountability and acknowledgement. She says that there have been real people hurt by Colleen and there hasn't been an apology. She's being silent for a reason. And the comments agree with both Adam and Trisha, a lot with the same comment saying, "Jojo, have you learned nothing? Jojo was groomed." She literally says it's important not to blur the friend/fan line. And then the next anecdote is about how she met Colleen because she herself was a fan initially. Cognitive dissonance. Till now, Colleen has not directly addressed anything outside of the ukulele song. Now let's talk about Johnny Silvestri and all the allegations that have come out about him surrounding the Colleen situation. Recently, a YouTuber named Spanky Valentine, known on YouTube as Swoop, has been making a docuseries expose about Colleen that has been doing very well on YouTube. Now, when she got to her interview with Johnny, which was 6 hours by the way, she noticed that something was fishy about his story. Just a quick recap of Johnny's allegations towards the Ballingers. He specifically focused on Corey DeSoto and Colleen's ex-husband, Joshua Evans, and talked about how he was groomed by them and experienced something similar, if not worse, than Adam McIntyre. He mainly was accusing Colleen's ex Joshua for grooming him, to which Joshua actually replied to both privately and publicly, took accountability for, and apologized for any of his wrongdoing. He's actually the only one from the entire group that has taken accountability or stepped up to say anything. Now, although Joshua apologized to Johnny, it seems that he had a vendetta against Joshua and kind of refused his apology and kept on with the accusations. Because of that, some of the fan base holding Colleen accountable got upset because it seemed that Johnny wanted to drag this situation for as long as he could, and this Swoop interview was the tip of the iceberg. Their messages highlighted that Johnny was often the initiator of conversations between the two of them, and Joshua often did not reply to them. Joshua saw Johnny as almost a little brother in the industry that he could help, but had cut contact with him a lot sooner than Johnny had stated. To make a long story short, Swoop exposed Johnny for being a liar. His stories weren't adding up, and he had a severe lack of evidence against Joshua Evans. She accused him of just writing this wave of allegations for his own fame and knowingly grooming other fans in the fandom, as he was in his early 20s when all these alleged things took place. He had his own group where he would talk to his minor fans, so who is he to call people out? The entire documentary is about 4 hours long, so I recommend watching it if you want to know more about that. Now, following this, it seems like a very unlikely friendship between Joshua Evans and Adam McIntyre has formed. Adam released a video basically standing up for Joshua and clearing his name, which no one has done publicly. Joshua has talked about him having suicidal thoughts because of the hate that he had received online from, first of all, just divorcing Colleen, and it was made even worse when these allegations came out. He has always taken the side of the victims, though, and also said that he was gaslit and misled a lot by Colleen herself. He thanked Adam recently in several posts on X, formerly known as Twitter, and they seem to be all good now. And just yesterday, Swoop released an interview with Joshua David Evans, and we are looking to summarize that for you guys, so stay tuned. Not to mention, Corey DeSoto seems to have been posting recently, so it looks like they may be testing their waters to see if they can make a full comeback to the internet. This feels like it might trigger her, as it was someone who was close to her life. But anyway, guys, the Colleen situation keeps getting worse and worse as more and more is uncovered. She hasn't directly commented on any of these new parts of the story, and neither has her legal team. As always, we will keep you guys in the loop. Feel free to leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new tea spills from us. And for now, here is some eye bleach.